Our next speaker will be Graham Berry from Los Angeles, followed by Donald Myers.
Good morning, Supervisors. This sign, Scientology leader David Miscavige beats up staff members, was banned last week by the sheriffs and county council from being used in pickets in this county. They unilaterally decided that any reference to an individual was now banned. These protests, and at the outset, gentlemen, I understand 2 speakers have yielded their time to me, which gives me 9 minutes. I'll yield back the balance of my time to Mr. Choquette when I'm finished. These protests are not about religious beliefs and freedom. They are about conduct, and the law is clear. Although religious belief is constitutionally protected, religiously motivated wrongful conduct is not. And Scientology scripture holds that a person who opposes Scientology does not have any civil rights at all and can be utterly destroyed by any means possible. And so, gentlemen, the Riverside County Police and officials have been hoodwinked into looking the other way and covering for the human and civil rights abuses going on at what we call Gold Base on Highway 79. Scientology is lying to the Board of Supervisors. It is lying. They have a scripture. It's called On Control and Lying, and this scripture states that the only way to control someone is to lie to them. They have another religious scripture which defines acceptable truth, a story tailored for the needs of the particular audience, and a phrase called shore story, to tell false stories, and another scripture that says, in effect, the end justifies the means. Scientology claims through its public relations director, Catherine Fraser, that the protesters are dangerous, that the Scientology staff need to be kept out of harm's way. We don't want protesters endangering Scientology staff, she says. We want to get them away from the whole sector. Scientology bases its claim of protesters outside Gold Base being a danger to Scientologists on the following statements. The Gold Base campus had received 56 bomb threats and 30 death threats in the last year, and one man was arrested recently for biting a security guard trying to move him away from the property. The protesters need to be kept away from the living quarters, contends Scientology representatives. These claims are absurd. The truth is that Scientology staffers whose thoughts are controlled by Scientology must be kept away from hearing or seeing the messages of the protesters. First, the threats. Scientology's Operation Freakout used invented fake bomb threats to frame reporter Paulette Cooper. Only the FBI, catching the Church of Scientology engaged in the largest ever criminal infiltration of the United States federal government, provided the evidence of the prosecution then in progress. Scientology is very adept at taking imagined threats and even perceived threats and turning them into real threats with which to create a community of terror and fear of the outside world. But it is clear, no matter how seriously the authorities may be taking these claims of threats, that no one has been charged or arrested with any of them, and no one has connected any of the protesters before Gold Base with any of the threats. It is the peaceful branch of Anonymous that protests Scientology, often with cupcakes, themed protests, hugs, songs and dancing. Scientology religious scripture deems this peaceful picketing to be criminal and evil because it is against Scientology. So they require their staff to dial 911 every time there's a picketer and demand an arrest. These pickets have been occurring simultaneously every month outside Scientology premises in over 110 countries and 82 different, 110 cities and 82 different countries. There have been over 10,000 people peacefully picketing at these global pickets. If the people picketing at Gilman Hot Springs were truly dangerous, you would have been provided with evidence of serious police, cult and protester clashes at these monthly pickets. So let's turn to the biting incident they used. They are referring to a picketer known as Anonymous Orange, and who sometimes protests in the costume of Barney the Purple Dinosaur. His real name is Francois Choquette. In over 12 years of public pickets outside Gold Base, he is the second person to be arrested there. The first person's conviction and sentence, Keith Hansen, is now on appeal. In 1991, while picketing, he was arrested on a misdemeanor terrorism charge, threatening a religion after making an internet joke about a Tom Cruise missile hitting Gold Base. Francis Choquette here has picketed Gold Base, and at 5:30 a.m. on September 21 last year, Scientology picketed his home, handing out flyers to the neighbours, and had to be escorted off the private park by 2 police officers. On October 26 last year, he was picketing Gold Base when 3 Gold Base security officers, not the police, Gold Base itself, made a citizen's arrest of him. And he has been charged with trespass and unlawful force against one of the Scientology security officers. That is the incident that triggers this ordinance. I am representing Mr. Choquette at trial, and the evidence is expected to exonerate him. What really went down at Gold Base that prompts this ordinance? At trial, the evidence is expected to show that the Gold Base security officers are often armed. They're trained to shoot intruders.
Sir, you need to begin summarizing. Your time's almost up.
The evidence will show at trial of Mr. Choquette that rather than Mr. Choquette attacking the Scientology security officers, they attacked him in the very space that Scientology now wants the protesters removed to. They dogpiled him. They hogtied him. They pushed his face into the dirt. He thought he was dying. He thought he was suffocating. And to save his life, he bit the hand that was holding him down, that of one of the Scientology officers.
Sorry, your time is up.
I understood, Your Honour, sir, that we had 9 minutes, not 6.
Sir, you have 1 card, which allows you a total of 6 minutes. Thank you very much.